Hello, I'm Sam Wallace and I'm interviewing Ibrahim Mahar from Fanzword, a social media site dedicated to football fans. So, Ibrahim, tell me a little bit about Fanzword as a company.
So basically, Fanzword is a social media platform. It is dedicated for football fans from all over the world. What we're trying to do at Fanzword is to give football fans from all over the globe the opportunity to interact, engage, discuss football matches in an environment that is 100% done and tailor made for them, for the football fans. So we have some quite unique features that are built just for the fans and the football fans in specific. So things like rating players, rating goals, recommending substitutions. So everything that people would really discuss when it comes to a football match is done within the app, but as features, not just as the regular text that you go and write on any other social media platform. So for example, if you're happy with the performance of a player, you can give him a rating of 8, 9, and so on. If you like a goal, it's in percentage, so you can give a score to a certain goal, like for example 80, 90% goal. If you want a player to go out, you say, for example, I want player X to go out, player Y to go in, and so on and so forth. So all the features are really built around football and the kind of interaction that the fans usually have.
Sounds brilliant. It's a lot more detailed than I thought because when I first read it up, I was like, okay, because you've got like Twitter hashtags about the game and stuff, and people tweet with that hashtag, but this seems
Exactly.
so much more detailed than that. Yeah,
Yes.
it's really
And
good.
example, we have like a news feed similar to the other social media platforms. But for example, if you want to discuss, let's say, a yellow card that was given to a specific player during a specific minute, you can just filter the news feed by this event or this kind of details. So the whole idea about it is to make sure that the fans and the users of the application can really discuss very detailed things happening during the match.
Okay, brilliant. So, where did the idea come from?
So the idea basically came from, for me as a thought, because I usually watch matches with friends, and when you have your friends around you, you cheer, you scream, depending on what's happening. There is this kind of excitement and engagement. But when I watch matches alone, it's usually very, I wouldn't say very boring, but not as exciting as when you have your friends around you and so on. And my problem with the other social media platforms is that what we just discussed right now is that if you want to discuss something that is very specific, it's a little bit difficult to do it on other social media platforms, because yes, you can find the hashtag of a specific match. But if, let's say, for example, you want to discuss the performance of Messi as an example, you wouldn't easily find it. If you want to discuss the VAR decision on, let's say, the 75th minute, this kind of details. And usually when this happens in the match, this is what really people are looking for. And obviously, from a business perspective, when you see the potential number of users that you can have and the potential engagement that you can have on such platform, also obviously from a business perspective, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely. It's something I would be interested in having to follow my faithful Leicester City. Do you see the potential of bringing in maybe a broadcaster to sort of show like highlights, little sort of clips maybe from games?
Yeah, obviously that is something that we could consider, but I'd say at a later stage, because the minute you start having things related to the live matches or the highlights or the broadcast and so on, it has a lot of legal, let's say, restrictions and so on. You have to be very careful of what you do, and a lot of apps actually, if you follow the live score apps, they, let's say, they give you a couple of days of highlights and so on, and all of a sudden you find that this has disappeared the week after, So there is always this kind of apps and platforms trying to have this, but if you don't really do it in a proper way, it is very, very, very challenging, I'd say. So for now, the focus is on what we just discussed, the engagement element. We know that people do have their options when it comes to uh, live broadcast and watching the live matches. This is not really where we focus right now. We've been approached by some, let's say, other startups that are focusing more on this live broadcast area, and there are some discussions here and there. But for the time being, our focus is really on the engagement part, and leaving this, whole live broadcast thing to the experts in this field.
Yeah, that's a very good answer, actually. So a bit more about how it works. Do you select like your favorite team to follow, or can you kind of search through the matches? Or...
It's basically very similar to all the other live score apps. You select the favorite teams that you follow. You select the favorite teams and leagues, actually. So if there is a specific team that you follow, so obviously for you it would be Leicester City, and then maybe the Premier League, and then maybe you're also interested in the, let's say, the Bundesliga or any other league. You select this, and once you select this preferences, it becomes available in your matches, or the main matches, what we call the main matches screen. And then you press on the match and you start interacting. Once you open any match, you have 5 basic features, which is rating players, rating goals, recommending substitutions, the match discussion, and the score prediction.
Is there any kind of idea to maybe integrate some sort of ratings, like the best goal of in the Bundesliga that week or something, as rated by?
This is actually already there, and so basically, there is a specific tab, you go and you choose the league, and it has the players ranked in terms of performance from the best to the least rated, and the same thing for the goals. So, for example, if you want to see the Premier League goals, you can go, and they are already sorted by the highest score to the lowest score.
All right, fantastic. So what's been the biggest challenge for you in either this project or anything you've done as an entrepreneur?
I think the main challenge is always, there are basically 2 things. The first thing is that, especially when it's still a small team, is that you have to do a lot of things in which you're not really an expert. So an hour you work on marketing, the other hour you work on some legal documents, and then later on you work on some business development things that you need to do. So wearing different hats is a bit of a challenge, but still also something that is very interesting to me, because it makes me learn about other topics, things that in which I might not be an expert. I obviously get the right people to help me, whether it's a friend, a freelancer, or whatever. But I always make sure that I do things right. And it's also interesting because it lets you read about different topics, and it makes you, more aware of things, not just the area of expertise, let's say.
So we've met through the Web Summit. Have you ever been to the Web Summit before?
This one is my first one, but I think it's really amazing, because you're in such an environment where everybody is really looking to connect, to discuss. Everybody is more or less interested in the same topics. Obviously, some differences here and there, but startups in general, fundraising, social media, these general, let's say, topics are of interest for everybody attending there. I also tried the mingle section, where you can go and just speak to random people without having anything set up. It's also quite interesting. For 3 minutes, you speak to someone, and to get to know him, to get to know his industry, and so on and so forth. So it's my first time, but I think it's really interesting, and it adds a lot of value, not just from the talks and the speeches the sessions that you attend, but also it's really an eye opener on other players in your category, for example, potential partners, maybe potential competitors, and so on. So it's really really interesting.
Yeah, certainly. And there's even football players there. Ricardo Quaresma was there yesterday, I think. So
Yeah, Hendrik Larsson, Mourinho was there. So yeah, very very interesting. And one of the talks was actually on how to engage with fans post the COVID. So was really a perfect, let's say, session for us to see what is in there and what are the expert thinking of the industry in general, and specifically after the coronavirus.
yeah, so certainly, obviously, the Web Summit's taken a bit of a different method because of coronavirus. Would you consider coming again, maybe in person to Lisbon or anything?
Yes, of course. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, but this time it was my first time, as I told you, but it was very interesting. And I think if even when it's in person, when it's done in Lisbon, I think it could be even better getting to meet people face to face. Having this physical kind of interaction, I think, is also very very important.
Brilliant to talk to you, Ibrahim.
Same here, Sam.
And I hope it all goes really well for you. Maybe we'll
Thank
be
you so much.
speaking at the next Web Summit. You never know.
Yeah, we meet face to face.
Yeah, certainly. That would be nice. Yeah.